Hey, it's Robert. Okay, we are in St. Louis, Missouri today, my old stomping grounds. This is where I kind of grew up. This is where I certainly had all of my concert imprints put onto my brain over the course of my teenage years. Saw many concerts here. It was just St. Louis in the 70s and early 80s was just such a great music town. So great. So thrilled to be back here tonight. Had a really nice, easy load in today. Really easy. We were up very early, which is also refreshing for St. Louis. For you guys that have been touring for a long time, you remember what coming into St. Louis used to be like. You know, coming into the Checker Dome or Kiel Auditorium or those places, man, the load-ins were just brutal into those places. But this is a really great building here. I think I've played this building before. I'm not sure. It's called Scott Trade Center now. It's where the Blues play, obviously. Big building. Kind of a jangly sucker. It's a little out of control, empty. We'll see if it tightens up a little bit when some people get in here. But thrilled to be here today. A lot of memories in St. Louis. Got to see some good friends of mine today. I was telling somebody today one of the stories. Maybe I was telling my daughter. I don't even remember. But it's funny kind of how it all comes around, right? I mean, I was with a friend of mine today who was the guy where I skipped school for the first time officially once when we were in about 7th grade, and we skipped school and went over to another guy's house to listen to Rocky Mountain Way. Who knew, right? So, you know, we were on our path from that moment forward. Oh, at any rate, sorry, I had a technical glitch there. At any rate, looking forward to a big show tonight. Really big crowd here tonight, so it should be really be something, and going to be fun mixing in front of my friends and family here. So we'll see you guys later. Quite a day. I'll check back in with you. As always, we're trying to get audio in these things. We'll do it someday. It's going to happen. It can happen. We're going to shoot some more GoPro footage tonight. So that's about it from here. We'll see you later. Have a nice day. We'll see you. Bye-bye.
Baby, save me with your sweet smile. Honey, I really need you to help me kill a little bit of time. All of the girls wrong with the crowd, they go wild in the light.
Any guesses? Hey, okay, harden the fuck up. Let's get it going this morning. All right, we're gonna go for it a little bit this morning because we got a break coming up for a couple of weeks, and I want to get back and kind of crush Pinnacle Peak a couple of times. So we're gonna do weighted sandbag walk this morning. This is gonna be a combo. So let's check out the whiteboard here. Let's see. We got let's go over the hotel day. We had a day off here yesterday. So I pulled off a 30-minute cardio routine kind of late in the day yesterday. And then followed by a 15-minute kind of body weight back strengthening set and a 10-minute full body stretch. Okay, so that was pretty cool. That made me feel pretty good this morning. So it was kind of a recovery day, but still got some good work in yesterday. And then today, obviously, we're going to do another big stair routine. This is where the St. Louis Blues plays. This is a big place. So we're going to do a little combo today. We're going to do a weighted stair climb combo. We're going to use the 60-pound bag, one full level of ascent and descent, and then we're going to jog a lap around the building. And then 15 push-ups or a 1-minute plank. You kind of get to choose depending on how you feel, whatever. All right, so that's it today. 60-minute AMRAP. Here we go. Let's get some. Let's get after it. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.
The hometown blues.
Okay, I think what we might do today is actually jump into a little system tuning stuff. I'm going to run you through how we do some of the system tuning, especially with EAW Adaptive. It's a little different process than we might normally do on a regular array system in an arena like this. Okay, so I've got some screen recordings of our smart analysis. I'm just going to walk through it along with Vic here, and we'll try to give you as much insight to it as we can here without you actually being here. But we'll run you through this. Okay, so stand by. Let me get camera turned around, and we'll get going here. Okay, so we're at the little at our little workstation here that I have set up for doing analysis and all the rest of the computer work. And one of the things that Vic has started doing, and I got to be honest, I haven't regularly done this in the past, but he's started to do it, and it's a really kind of good, cool school here of the effectiveness of adaptive here. So what I want to show you here is the first thing that Vic has done is he's gone into his archive of captures here from the tour that we're on right now, and pulled up a room that is similar in shape and size to the one we're in today here in St. Louis. And the one he has pulled up is Memphis, where the Memphis Grizzlies play. So if you take a look at the screen right now, the purple trace that you can see there is actually Memphis, and the green trace is an active trace captured today at roughly the same mic position, roughly the same relative position in the room. And it's I really want you to take note of how strikingly similar these curves are in reference to each other. I mean, this is two very different, two different locations, obviously similar building size and shape, but that is pretty impressive to be that spot on day to day. I mean, it speaks to consistency for sure, which is what we're all trying to develop out here. All right.
Call this house right to auto.
Right, so we're capturing our reference trace right now to align back to. All right, so the first thing we're going to do here after capturing that trace is do a sub-alignment. And we're going to align our ground fill subs to the PA. Now, I want to kind of stress as we talk through this, these subwoofers are not necessarily here to support only the PA system. They're really there to support the ground fill system, but as we all are kind of aware, we can't do zoned subs in a space like this. So we kind of concede that the subs are going to come out here and affect what we're hearing at the mix position. So we try to get the alignment right in that plane. We put it in the same horizontal plane as the mixing position and get them in alignment there. And then just kind of let them be what they will be with regard to the mid-range and low frequency portion of the front fill. All right, we just concede that alignment to make it right at the mix position. And the thinking behind that is, if by some stretch of the imagination that we just aligned the subs with the front fill and they were exactly out of phase at the mix position, then I'm making bad decisions for the rest of the room, right? So that would be a really bad trade-off in terms of just strictly sticking to it and saying we got to have that front fill in alignment. Well, it's actually causing more problems in the room because it's skewing the mixer perception. We have a set of microphones. I'll kind of walk them out here so you can see it. Here's that sub-alignment microphone, which is just kind of in between the center and the left-right hangs and in the same plane as the PA. We have another one here up in the seats. And what he is checking here, because we can manipulate this with auto, is horizontal dispersion of the subwoofers, right? So again, we're just kind of looking to see if we're doing any damage up here. I'll walk part of the way up here. There's another microphone all the way up in that section there. And we can even do one up in the very, very top balcony sometimes. I don't know if we'll do it today, but we've done it in the past where we're checking that horizontal up there. I doubt that we're worried about sub information up there at this point. But. So Vic's just taking a look at horizontal sub coverage. Remember, we're on an adaptive sub here, so we can be very, very precise with that. We're using it in 100% rejection right now, so pretty cool stuff. So I've been up to Tom's position when this is on and off. You know, we can turn the subs on and off, and you just literally cannot even tell that they're on or off at the microphone position up there. It's very impressive. All right, so we're going to go to vertical placement now of microphones, and let's see if I can see where he's going here. We're going to have one microphone up in the near fields. We're going to have a microphone back here in the midfields. And then we're going to jump up into the seats and have a microphone. Let's see if I can see it here. I'll try to point it out in the editing here. Right up near where it says Bud Light Blue Zone up there. We're going to have one there. And then we're going to go up to the top balcony and stick one up there. And the idea here is just to check the geometry build back to the PA of this entire vertical segment of the room right here, okay? Alright, so the next alignment we're going to do, because we're using, I don't know if you can see it here, an LCR PA arrangement, we're going to use a microphone sitting right at the mix position. And again, the mindset is that we've got to get that C cluster in time with the left-right as it arrives at the mix position. These things have to be really, really in phase. We try to get it in phase at least out to 14K because it can kind of taint the mixer's perception of mid-range if it's not right. Okay, so got to get it right here, and then we'll take what we can get in the other places of it, which I'll talk to you about. Hopefully I have enough time to talk about it here in just a couple minutes. All right, so the blue trace is a capture of the right PA.
And the delay track will actually tell us the exact time.
Yeah. So we're going to use the delay finder to find what time needs to be added to the C. We're actually listening to the C right now. And we're going to look for those phase traces to lay right on top of each other. We do have the C cluster high passed right now to about, I don't know, probably about 160, maybe 200 hertz.
Well, that's we're not going to update the time. We're just going to take that as reference.
Right.
But I'm looking at phase response from about 250 and up.
Right.
So that's looking pretty good. So I'm going to capture this. We're going to call this C center to house right. And then we're going to take, the next one's going to be center to house left.
So the next measurement we're going to look at is house left compared to that C now. And part of the reason we do that, as opposed to just taking it at face value that left and right will be at the same time, is it allows us to offset for any rigging differences, etc. And you know, sometimes that can be inside a millisecond, but we take care of it, where we have the arrival times of all three of those arrays spot on at the mixing position. And because, you know, in adaptive, you're basically taking one half of the room, unless you're in an asymmetrical room, you're taking one half of the room, pushing it to the PA, and then duplicating that and sending it to the other side, you know, just kind of flipped over. but the throughput can be different at times from left to right. So we always want to check that, whether it's a function of where it's actually flying or something, just something in the DSP that's giving us a little bit of difference in throughput. We want to take care of that. Whatever the reason, we want to get it in alignment at the mix position. Okay, so I'm going to let Vic carry on there. He's, I'm fine letting him do some of this stuff. He's very sharp with it, and we have a very similar mindset on what needs to happen here. He's going to continue on checking the vertical of each one of the array segments, making sure our geometry is in right and that it's all done correctly, and we're getting the same response. As you can see, with very little effort, I mean, we got incredible response from the very back seat right down to the very front seat. I mean, it's incredibly similar response. And that's very reassuring as a mixer to be able to do that and know what you're doing at the mixing console is actually relative for the rest of the room. All right. So the next piece of the puzzle for us, aside from checking vertical, is we will also take our wireless mics up at Tom's position and some of the other key vocal positions up there, and have a look at what the response is up there with the PA on full blast, and comparing it in a relative sense to those other traces that we've taken throughout the room. Obviously, we don't want the same response at Tom's microphones or the other places. We want a greatly reduced response, especially in the mid-range and all the other elements of it, because we want high gain before feedback, right? So we take great care there, and we actually do some stuff with the new spatial EQ to actually enhance that process down front. If we have a lot of high frequency information down there because people are close, and maybe we have some air compensation going on in the far field, etc., that can cause some high frequency buildup close to the PA system. But we can address that pretty effectively now with the spatial EQ in the Anya system. I've noticed it immediately over the first couple of shows that we tried to implement it. The headroom on the microphone just kind of, raised up significantly. So kind of a cool deal here for us. All right, so that's a long segment today. I'm going to pull off there. We'll cover more of this as we go on. We'll talk about some of my front fill philosophy and versus PA alignment philosophies as we go forward. But that's kind of the quick and down and dirty insight to what we're trying to do out here in Anya venue and Tom Petty land. All right.
God bless you all. Good night.